Hello everyone, and welcome to the Room of Acquirement. I'm Curtis, your curator to this magical collection. And as you can see, or rather can't see, today our magical item is the Cloak of Invisibility. This Cloak of Invisibility was made by Wow Stuff and can be found at any of your local retailers or online. But now that that's out of the way, even though invisibility cloaks are fairly common in our world, in the wizarding world, invisibility cloaks are really rare, for multiple reasons. The very first invisibility cloak of note shows up in the 1300s when one of the Peveril brothers came into possession of one. Its origins are of a topic of great debate, which we'll get at in a later video. But for now, let's move on to the history of invisibility cloaks in general. After the rise of the very first invisibility cloak, many have tried using disillusionment charms on regular traveling cloaks so that they would have the same effect. Unfortunately, these spells would only last for a few hours at most, depending on the skill level of the caster in question. Other invisibility cloaks soon started to arise with the discovery of the creature known as the Demiguise. Now, the Demiguise is a creature that can not only turn invisible, but can also see the future. So it's already a challenge just to find the poor creature, but then to actually capture one, you need to be somewhat spontaneous in your efforts. Any thought-out plan to catch one, and they will be fully prepared for it. The reason why the Demiguise was so important is by harvesting its hairs without harming the poor creature, these hairs could be sewn into a cloak of invisibility, which are still used even today by the Ministry of Magic for security purposes, and most invisibility cloaks are highly regulated by the Ministry of Magic to prevent their abuse. However, it is important to note that regardless of how you make a cloak of invisibility, a wizard or witch with a high enough skill level to detect invisibility charms will be able to see through them. Cloaks made by the hair of the Demiguise could last years, but it doesn't explain why Harry's cloak seems to have spanned the centuries that it was handed down from person to person until it was claimed by the Potters and passed down through their lineage. Most cloaks of invisibility become useless after a while, as charms of disillusionment always wear off after a few hours, and can be easily dispelled by the slightest bit of damage to the cloak. The same can be said for cloaks made from the hairs of the Demiguise. The charm remains stable until the cloak is damaged. For the cloaks made with the hair of the Demiguise, it can last years, but eventually it will turn opaque. Harry's cloak seems to be the only one that doesn't conform to either of these rules. It seems to be much more durable than your average cloak of invisibility, both in material and in stability of its magic. I hope that this has been an enlightening episode for you. For my Harry Potter quizzing and trivia fans, based off of what you've seen here today, can you guess what next two items are going to be in my next video? And for the rest of my viewers, if you're wondering about Harry Potter quizzing and trivia, there is a link to their Facebook page on my channel's homepage. I hope to see you soon on the Room of Acquirements. Until then, now you see me, and now you don't.